Good evening. We are bringing you commentary of Brighton and Hove Albion against Newcastle today from the Premier League. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, and I'm also joined by your alternative commentator, Mike Harniman, and you are listening to Football Commentary Live. Some of the earlier results which kicked off at 5:30 have come in now, so I'll just run you through some of those results, which include you've just heard Everton lose out to Manchester City, and they're also in the FA Cup semi-finals, along with Southampton, who won earlier today against Bournemouth. Bringing you commentary, as I said, of Brighton against Newcastle at 8 o'clock. So in around about 10 minutes time, we'll hand over to Mike, or in around about 5 minutes time, we'll hand over to Mike, ready for team news and all the first half action. In La Liga, Huesca drew 0-0 with Osasuna, and in the German Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach won 3-0 against FC Schalke. And in the Championship in the evening kick-off, Swansea City 0, Cardiff City 1. Aidan Flint with the goal for the Bluebirds against the Swans in that game there. And in Italian Serie A, Spezia beat Cagliari by 2-1 in that other latest score which I gave you during the last game. We're now going to fetch in our match commentator Mike Harniman this evening and say, good evening, Mike. How are you doing, mate? You okay? Mike, you're muted, mate. We can't hear you.
Hello, mate. I just left you a message just to say I was just grabbing a quick glass of water just so I was completely ready, but I am ready and good to go now.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
All good, mate. Thank you. Looking forward to this game then?
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game. Of course, it's a relegation 6-pointer as well, with both of these sides struggling right down towards the foot of the table, just both outside the relegation zone as things stand at the moment. And it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be cagey. I don't see it being as one-sided as it was in the previous game at St James's Park, which Brighton obviously won 3-0. Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be a very cagey game. I just hope we've got some goals. I just hope we're not on for a 0-0.
Yes, it's been a while since. I don't think on this channel, Mike, I'm not 100% sure if on this channel we've actually had a 0-0 on this.
Yeah, we have. It was Manchester United's game against Chelsea. I remember Stephen's first game was a 0-0 draw.
Stephen's first game.
Yeah.
I mean, with either me or you, I don't think either one of us.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't think we have, to be honest. But the curse is going to break at some stage. So hopefully that's not today.
Yeah, I'm just looking through what games I've done on here. So first game that we both did was Swansea against Man City. That was a 3-1 win for Man City. So that one.
The FA Cup, of course, Manchester City have just gone through into the semi-finals as well just now. And that was great coverage as well. I heard the back end of that, and I thought there was some really good stuff for the first time on the channel.
Yes, man. I did Chelsea Newcastle, so that was a 2-0 win for Chelsea. I did Everton Southampton, that was a 1-0 for Everton.
Yeah.
I did 2-0 Chelsea's win, 2-0 win over Everton as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I did Arsenal Olympiacos on the channel, so I definitely know I haven't been involved in a 0-0, Mike. I'm not sure whether you have on the channel. I know Steve, like you mentioned, Stephen has, but there's always a first time for...
Yeah, not that I know of, not that I can remember.
Yes, not that I can remember either as well. Mm-hmm. It's the Premier League coverage today, not the FA Cup. I forgot to change over the...
it's easily done. Literally, the stream's only just finished about 15-20 minutes ago. It's easily done, especially when we've had a triple header as well. This is the third of those. So
so that presented. All three.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it was all of the other games have had goals so far as well. Of course, Southampton progressing, Manchester City progressing in the end as well, and of course, there's a couple more games in the FA Cup tomorrow. Chelsea and Sheffield United play, as do who's the other game? I'm trying to think who it is now. Who is the other game? Is it who has progressed?
It's Leicester against Manchester United as well.
That's right. So there's some good games tomorrow on as well. Of course, there's Premier League action tomorrow with West Ham and Arsenal and Tottenham playing as well, which I think John Kane's covering, isn't he? He's covering
John Kane will be doing that one for us
the Spurs
tomorrow evening. The Tottenham game. We won't be covering. We're not sure about the Arsenal game yet. We'll let you know via the Twitter feed and the Facebook page if we are to cover that game. But the one definitely that we're covering tomorrow is the Aston Villa Tottenham. And then what we've got coming up on Thursday, Mike, with myself at 2:00, UEFA Under-21 European Championship action. England starting off with England's covering all of the England matches.
Yeah.
And England's first game against Switzerland is at 2:00 this Thursday. And I'll be in the commentary, and I'll be in Football Commentary Live HQ, in our HQ centre where I'm based, doing that game on Thursday afternoon. So if anyone wants to listen to that, you're more than welcome to come along and give us a listen, and make sure you're tuned in and ready for coverage for that one. And we'll try and bring you all of the England matches from the Under-21 European Championship. After that, we play on the Sunday the 28th at 8:00 against Portugal. Then we play on my birthday, 31st of March, in that one against Croatia.
I love how you mentioned that it's your birthday on the day as well. Like, listeners are going to have to buy you a present. I tell you now, the commentary team aren't buying you a present. So.
Yes, and if anyone wants to watch the Under-21 European Championships, they're all going to be shown on Sky as well. In the UK.
Yeah, I've just seen it come up on there because obviously I've got the game on. I've just seen it pop up on screen. So yeah.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how that does. Mike's in his Commentary Live HQ studios based down in Hertfordshire, based up in Yorkshire, linking up via the wonderful world of technology for this evening's game. And we're looking forward to bringing you the match on this evening between Brighton and Newcastle. And it'll be a very interesting game, Mike. Mike, if you were to pick a winner tonight,
yeah,
who would you say? Because looking back at the result for Leeds United last night, which was actually overshadowed by the news earlier of Peter Lorimer dying,
big rest in peace. I did see that this afternoon. Yeah,
and at the end of the coverage on the Southampton game, I played a clip of Eddie Gray, who played with Peter at Leeds and then brought him back when he was manager at Leeds as well. He mentioned, and I played his interview that he did earlier on today on the show earlier on. So that was good to hear for the memories from Leeds legend Eddie Gray on Peter Lorimer.
Absolutely, and that was a good win for Leeds as well. It's the first time that Leeds have won in London in 3 years, something like that?
Yeah, December 2017 was the last time Leeds won.
So even longer than what I said then, about 5 years or so, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a 3-1 win for Leeds away to QPR, and the goal scorer for Leeds on that day, Mike, scored an hat-trick as well. It was Kemar Roof, who's now at Rangers.
Oh, okay, and of course they've had their issues this week as well, and of course, I'm going to come out and say it now, as we've just mentioned that, everyone here at Football Commentary Live, we have to say that we stand with Glenn Kamara right now as well.
Yes, we do, Mike. I was going to mention that as well, and hopefully, and I've actually saw a photo which some of the fans actually so-called fans of Slavia Prague put out on social media last night as well, which is not nice at all. I do not recommend people looking at those. Well, more racial abuse heading towards Glenn Kamara as well there. So, like Manager said, all our thoughts and everyone here at Football Commentary Live sends and say we are standing with Glenn, and there's no room for racism in football. Hopefully, Rangers can more get a win and put behind the troubles from Thursday against
Celtic. Big game for them against Celtic tomorrow, absolutely, yeah.
Already won the title. They're
20 points clear.
20 points clear.
Sides are out, by the way.
Yes, so what I'm going to do now.
We've got the lineups on there, but go on, Russ.
Yeah, I'm going to say a very good evening to Giggs first and foremost. Hopefully
How you doing, sweet?
Hopefully you're doing okay. Make sure you listen continue to listen to this broadcast. I'll be coming across to Mike any second, very shortly. So teams are out. We're almost ready for kick-off. In 3 minutes' time, the kick-off will be. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hand over to your match commentator for the first half, taking you through the first 45 minutes, Mr. Mike Harniman. Mike.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Ross. So we've got the lineups out now. You would have maybe seen them earlier if you were watching the last stream as well. We'll start with the visitors, the Newcastle United side. They've got Dubravka in goal. Then they've got a back line of Manquillo, Lascelles, Clark and Dummett, with a midfield three of Willock, Shelvey and Hayden. And then Joe Linton, Almiron and Fraser leading the line. And then the bench sees Andy Carroll, Matt Ritchie, Dwight Gale, Jamal Lewis, Jeff Hendrick, and then there's also Fernandez, Murphy, Darlow, and also Sean Longstaff as well. And the Brighton side is Sanchez, and then the right back they have Mudder, and then White, Dunk, Veltman, Gross, Basuma, Lallana, and Trossard, with Welbeck and Neil Maupay, the Frenchman, partnering him up top, the former Arsenal man partnering Neil Maupay, who I'll mention in a moment, is without a goal in a couple of games as well. And they've got McAllister, Jahan Kabash, Alzate, Izquierdo, Tau, Still, Propa, Zakiri, and Byrne on the bench. The officials, if we just go to those notes, we just jump back a page or two. The officials for today's game are Anthony Taylor, the referee, assistants are Gary Bezic and Adam Nunn, fourth official Kevin Friend, Stuart Atwell VAR, and he's assisted by Stephen Child as well. And the two teams are going in for a huddle now. Of course, it's a huge game for both of these sides today. Absolutely massive if you look at the league positions. Of course, both sides are right in the thick of things at the moment in terms of relegation, or possible relegation, I should say. Newcastle's last 5 games, they drew obviously last time out against Aston Villa. They drew before that against West Brom. They also drew before that against Wolves as well. Then the game before that, they lost to Man United, and the game before that, they lost to Chelsea, which I believe was Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And the next 5 after today's game are Tottenham at home, Burnley away, West Ham at home, Liverpool away, and then Arsenal at home. And if you want to look further on from that, they go to Leicester after that, then Man City at home, and then they play Sheffield United and Fulham as their final 2 games of the season, which could be really 2 massive games against 2 sides that are right down there. As Newcastle are going to get us underway in a second. It's just got underway right now, and it's I think it was Almiron, I believe, so just passed it back there. I've just realised that Newcastle were wearing their home shirt, which means it's going to be very difficult to see the numbers on the back of their shirts, which isn't ideal. So I'll see what I can do. But Brighton just had possession now. He's gone out to play for a Newcastle throw. And it's just been taken quite slowly. He's just running up to it right now. Just seeing who that is in possession of the ball. It is. Just been thrown in anyway. I couldn't see who it was. It was too quick for me. It's just been put out there. Just showing Steve Bruce on the screen right now as well. Just want to jump back into some of these notes here. Newcastle's 10th manager there, Steve Bruce. Well, I didn't realise they had that many previous managers on top. And it's Brighton in possession now. Just trying to see. That was who was that? That was Gross, I think. Pascal Gross was giving the ball away though. And it's trying to see. It's coming out of defence now. Brighton are just trying to bring it down the line. Okay, it's Paul Dummett that took the throw in for Newcastle. Brighton, early chance, and it's fired over the top there. Bit of a missed kick from the Brighton man. And Newcastle gave the ball away sloppily there. Good pressing from Brighton coming down the line. The ball was fed out to Neil Maupay, and his delivery was a good delivery as well, and it was fired over the top there in the end. Just couldn't quite see who it was behind the effort. It was Jakub Moder, the Polish. Is he Polish or Slovakian? Sorry, I should say. He had the effort. And it's still goalless as things stand at the moment. Brighton's last 5, by the way, we'll touch on that as well. It was a 2-1 win last time out against Southampton. And then before that, they lost to Leicester as well. They just won a free kick here on Veltman. Before that, they lost to West Brom and also Palace, and then drew with Villa as well. We'll touch on their next couple of fixtures shortly. And it's just with the back line for Brighton now. And it's White, the former Leeds man, in possession of the ball, just giving it back to his captain, Lewis Dunk, and just playing a 1-2 between them. And they're just knocking it around at the back and all the way back to the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez now. And into midfield now. This has been knocked on by, I think that was, wasn't Basuma, it was the other one. It was Lallana, sorry, I should say that time. Just having a look who is on possession now. I think it's Danny Welbeck trying to feed it in here, and it's an effort on goal. That was from, who was that coming through? I couldn't quite see who it was. A good play down the line from Danny Welbeck though. Good possession football from Brighton, early start and quick tempo, and it was a good effort there from Danny Welbeck to find his man. It was an on-run in midfielder. Was it Trossard possibly? I think it may have been. Or was it? No, it was actually Moda again. Yeah. That's a good bit of play. He's been involved a couple of times now. Here's Basuma now. Played it down to Neil Maupay. That's good goalkeeping there from the Newcastle man. Just hoofed it clear as well. All the way through to the Brighton back line with Dunk and White just combining. And playing it out to Gross now as well. Brighton playing from left to right, I believe. I'm just having a look here. Sorry, right to left, I should say, in fact, in this first half. It's back with the goalkeeper Sanchez now. Does look like they are playing Moda and Veltman possibly on different positions to where they were on my notes, but that's fine. It's all about making change and keeping up with what the teams are doing, which is fine. It is just being knocked around right now with Brighton in possession. And it is Ben White on the ball. He's going to try and play it to his centre-back partner now, Lewis Dunk, the captain. And on it goes over to the left-back, which is Veltman. Into Trossard, and Lallana was involved there as well. And it's a good ball through, hits a Gross now. Pascal Gross for Brighton. Over to Neil Maupay, the Frenchman. He's going to try and feed it into his midfielder there. Good defending from Newcastle, and Joe Linton's trying to close down Lewis Dunk there. And it's all the way back with the goalkeeper, which of course is Sanchez. It's going to take a touch or two and give the ball into Lewis Dunk. He's going to just play it into midfield. There's Adam Lallana, the former Liverpool man, on to Gael Basuma now. He's going to look up and he's going to go into midfield. Trossard, back to Lallana there. Trying to bring it out from midfield now. He's giving it back though, and he's got it back again. Here's Gross this time. All the way back to Ben White now. On to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. And here's Basuma. Out to this left side. And it's been forced all the way back to the centre-backs again. And all the way back to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Brighton just playing a bit of possession football at the moment. Trying to keep possession, and they're doing pretty well with that. Newcastle haven't really had a sniff yet. Brighton have had a chance or two already, mostly coming from Moda. There's 2 opportunities already in the opening 6 minutes. And it's now Pascal Gross trying to feed this one to Maupay. He's held up the ball really well there. And he's had to go back though, so Basuma now. And he's gone back to Dunk. Yeah, take a touch or two. He can try and bring this one out of defence. And he goes back to Ben White, his centre-back partner, who feeds the ball in to Adam Lallana now. He's got this, the man in space, which is Pascal Gross, feeds the ball in. And it's good defending there from Kieran Clark, the Newcastle number 2, to put it behind for a corner ball to the Seagulls. And this is going to be taken over on this right side by Pascal Gross, number 13. And the Brighton defenders are all getting in there, trying to swarm the box. See what they can do here. If they can get a good delivery on this one. They've got some good players in there aerially. And you're going to see what onto the head of Lewis Dunk that was. And it's put into the back of the net by Neil Morpie, but it's been disallowed. I think there's a foul on the goalkeeper in the build-up. So no goal that time. And hopefully you haven't lost me. I was having a slight issue there. Can you hear me all right? Just put a message if you can. I don't know, I had a few technical issues there just for a second. But Newcastle have got a throw in. It's just been thrown in there now. Yeah, that's fine. I had a few technical issues there. Just lost signal for a second. It just drops out on me. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. And it is now with Brighton anyway in possession of the ball. And it is Lewis Dunk who just lets it roll through to his goalkeeper. Hopefully he didn't have too much silence there. It was a foul on, I think it was Jamal Lascelles as well as the goalkeeper in that one where Neil Morpie smashed it into the back of the net. So it was never going to be a goal anyway. And Brighton are just knocking it around at the moment at the back. And it is with Lewis Dunk, the captain. Going to play it onto his centre-back partner. Going to play it into midfield. It's given away. Here's John Joe Shelby now for Newcastle. Coming on with a good, strong run there. And it's a great tackle by Basuma there. One of probably the best defensive midfielders in the league. Sort of showing what he can do that time with an excellent challenge. And he's done really well to stay on his feet and to keep possession of the ball as well. As Brighton look to play it around at the back. And it is Basuma in possession again now with Lewis Dunk. And also Adam Lallana dropping back there into the central midfield role. We've had around about 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes in fact, and it is Brighton 0, Newcastle United 0. No goals at the moment. And Brighton have the ball now with Ben White. And it's just going to be brought out here now of defence by Lewis Dunk and onto Gael Basuma now. Into the Lallana dictating midfield now. Onto Pascal Gross, I think that is. Yes, it is. Trying to feed the ball in. And it's an effort from... Not an effort, sorry. A good ball in there. From, I think that was Lallana trying to play it out to Veltman. But it was cleared away in the end. And it's now Newcastle looking to counter. With Joe Linton in possession. It's a good play there. And I think that was Dummett now. Onto... Who was that there? Giving the ball away anyway to Basuma. Couldn't quite see who it was that gave the ball away. And here's Brighton on the attack now. And it's Trossard into Basuma. And it's fired straight at the goalkeeper that time by Gael Basuma there. Very comfortable for the Newcastle man. But again, it's good pressing from Brighton who have started this game very, very well. And I've had the opportunity so far to be ahead. But still remains goalless as things stand. Just want to have a look in regards to something else here now. Of course, last time out it was Brighton that come out on top in the reverse fixture by 3-0. And Basuma, the man who's in possession of the ball now, actually got a late red card that day as well. But the game was done by that point with Neil Morpie getting a brace and Aaron Connolly getting a goal as well, who's not in the squad today. And of course, he was reprimanded by the club for breaking COVID rules as well. And obviously, they've seen fit to not include him for that reason. As Brighton are just playing it around at the moment at the back with Sanchez now. And here is White onto Lallana and back by White to the goalkeeper. Sorry. And here is Dunk. onto Lallana now. Trying to play this one out to the left side to Pascal Gross. Down the line it goes to Danny Welbeck, the former Arsenal man. Holds that play really well there to Pascal Gross. And the back defender there was, who was that, the Newcastle man? I think it might have been, excuse me, who was it? It was actually Hayden that time out. Just got so many notes here, it's hard to keep up with everything. So if I move those ones out of the way for now, I'll just keep up with these ones. These couple here. But yeah, it's Newcastle with John Joe Shelby playing it down the line now. On to Almiron, I think that was. He was just fouled there. Or was it Joe Linton? Either way, it was a good break there from Newcastle, but Brighton had to break of their own and just smashed clear now by, I think that's Manquillo, out for a throw-in. That's one of the Brighton players there. He's got a cut on his eye. I think that's Veltman. Right under his eye there. I'm not too sure where that came from. Currently still 0-0, by the way, if you join in late. And Brighton have possession of the ball, and it is Lewis Dunk in possession onto Ben White now. We've had best chance for Brighton so far, really, with a couple of opportunities from Moda. There's a chance here now for Brighton, and it's going to be great defending that time from Jamal Lascelles, I think that was. In fact, it was Clark. It was Kieran Clark again. That's the second time he's been fantastic, getting a couple of great blocks in there at the back. That's the second time they've needed him at the moment. And both of those times he's come good for the Geordies. The Magpies, of course. And on to Brighton now with the number 3, Ben White, had been forced all the way back to his goalkeeper. Still waiting for the first goal of this one. Hopefully we will have some goals as well. Sanchez plays it long. It's into Newcastle's midfield now. That's Hayden, I believe, to Almiron or Joe Linton. It is Almiron who's going to whip the delivery in, and it's gone out of play, but he's an offside flag anyway, so it doesn't matter. It was Almiron trying to deliver that one in, and he was certainly offside there. It was ahead of play, so the linesman called that one correctly. Of course, both of these two sides are only just above the relegation zone by a couple of points as well. I think Newcastle are 1 point ahead of Brighton, if I believe to be correct. Let me just go to my notes. I'm sure it's 1 point. We'll check that in a moment, but I'm sure it is. And Brighton have possession now with Ben White. And it's Lewis Dunk now. Lewis Dunk to Basuma, back to Dunk again. It's a good ball down the line now to Danny Welbeck. Into Basuma, leaves it for Lallana, gets it back though. Here is Dunk, Basuma. More play. He's going to look up and play this one out to the touchline. He's going to get it back, as he knows. He's given into. Who was that? I believe that was to be. Is Neil Morpod though anyway, and he's going to have. Who was that there? That was. I can't even see. It's Trossard, I think. It's quite far away on the screen, so it was difficult to see that one. But it was Trossard who was involved, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. You see Steve Bruce in conversation there with a couple of his assistants and the official as well. Of course, Newcastle managed by Steve Bruce and Graham Potter in charge of Brighton. And of course, Mike Ashley is the infamous owner of Newcastle, and Tony Bloom, the man in charge of the helm overlooking things at Brighton as well. It's Newcastle in possession now with Jamal Lascelles onto Kieran Clark. To the left back, Paul Dummett now. He just plays it in front of him to Hayden. It's now with Clark again, onto Jamal Lascelles. Had a loan spell with Stevenage, my hometown, in fact, in 2012. Scoring 1 goal in a game I was actually at as well, against Yeovil Town in a 6-0 victory. They're now Newcastle United captain. It's with Dubravka. He plays it out to Dammit now. Plays it down the line here. Here's Almiron. So it's actually Hayden, in fact. Correction. He knocks it back to Clark now. Clark's going to play it long. And it's straight into the hands of Sanchez, who comes out and claims and does well there. He just bowls it out to Ben White as well, who knocks it on to Adam Lallana. And he gives it back to his captain, who plays it out to Veltman on the left-hand side, playing left back today. And he plays it into Basuma. On to White now. Ben White's going to bring it out of defence. He does really well there to give it to Pascal Gross. Gets it back as well, though. He's been forced to go backwards to Lewis Dunk. Of course, Lewis Dunk, everyone remembers from just a few weeks ago, scoring that free kick that was ruled out in that VAR-centred game, which they actually went on to lose to West Brom as well, with that goal not standing from the free kick, and also them missing 2 penalties, Brighton, that day as well. So that was a very interesting game. I'm sure we'll probably get some thoughts on that one a little bit later on, because that was certainly one of the games that VAR has let us down this season, in my opinion. Ryan Fraser just trying to control that one, but wasn't able to keep it in. Almost had 20 minutes, 18.5 minutes played. Still Brighton 0, Newcastle United 0 as well in this relegation 6-pointer. And definitely whoever wins this one is going to give themselves a great chance of survival as well, in my opinion. And of course, Newcastle were Championship not that long ago, even as well. They went on and won the league that season on the back of that surprise relegation. It's whipped in here though from Brighton. It's good defending by Jamal Lascelles. It's an offside in there though. The official's flag is up, so we're just going to have a Martin Dubravka free kick now. Of course, you're listening to Football Commentary Live, the home of alternative football commentary as well. This is the third of a triple header today, with games between Brighton and Newcastle now. Obviously, the game beforehand, if you heard us as well, was Manchester City's FA Cup victory over Everton, and also the lunchtime game where Bournemouth were knocked out by Southampton as well, with Matt Isles in the early one. And Newcastle are in possession now, knocked on by Almiron. Let's put all the way back to Robert Sanchez. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, which is @CommentaryLive1, and also on Facebook as well. You give us a follow or like on Facebook, and that is FootCom Live, so facebook.com/FootCom Live, for anyone that wants to follow that and keep up to date across all of our football commentaries that we've got coming up. Of course, Russ already mentioned we've got one tomorrow and also some in the middle of the week. Plenty more to come. I'm sure I'll be back in the hot seat again soon enough as well. As there's a free kick on John Joe Shelby here now. Oh, no, it wasn't John Joe Shelby, in fact. It was John Joe Shelby complaining. It was actually the foul was on, I believe it was actually, who was that? Was that Hayden? Who was it? Couldn't quite see. He's just hobbling off anyway. Who is it now? He's up to his feet. I'm not too sure who it was. But anyway, the Newcastle man is up. And there's a free kick here to be taken by the goalkeeper, Dubravka. I think they're leaving it too. Yeah, they are. All in yellow, bright yellow. With pink or red, pinkish red boots. It wasn't Hayden. It was actually, who was it that was the man that was down? It might have been Ryan Fraser, in fact, actually. And the ball was just smashed forward there towards the Newcastle man, Joe Linton, I think that was. And wasn't able to keep it in, so it's gone behind for a Brighton throw, which Veltman is going to take. You can spot him from a mile off with a cut under his eye. Taking the throw in. He's thrown it into Basuma now. Referee says no foul. Newcastle are looking to counter, but it's good defending that time by Lallana. And here comes Brighton in through Neil Maupay now. That's on to, who was that there? It's good play by the Newcastle man. I think it was Clark to just put it behind for a throw-in. It was actually Pascal Gross, the Brighton man, on the attack as well. Did well to knock the ball off of him, of course. Coming up to the halfway point of the first half. And we've got no goals on the scoreline, still remaining at 0-0. And not really an awful lot of clear-cut chances just yet. There's a couple of half chances, but nothing spectacular from either side. And Brighton have possession right now, and it is Ben White, I believe, in possession. Yep, it is. And he's giving it to Lewis Dunk now, on to Bissouma. Bissouma's going to play it in to the Lana. Back to Lewis Dunk. He's going to play the ball down the line towards Neil Maupay. Heads it on. Is he going to get it back? He does. He gets it back here now, the French striker. Good play there for Adam Lallana as well. Into the area it goes. And it's a shot on goal. Good block that time by Jamal Lascelles. It's now with Pascal Gross. There's a man on the overlap. He didn't want to go there. And it's now an opportunity for Brighton just to play it around in midfield again. They've been forced backwards. They had an opportunity to go forwards there, but they still decided to go back into the midfield. It's a long ball forward towards Neil Maupay, and it's good goalkeeping from Martin Dubravka. Comes out and claims that one with ease. As Newcastle look to build from the back now. And it is Joe Linton, I believe, just in possession there, but it's given away. There's a throw-in over here to Newcastle now. Just showing Steve Bruce as well. He looks puzzled. He looks a man deep in thought at the moment. The Slovakia Martin Dubravka hasn't had a lot to do for Newcastle yet. Neither has his opposite number. But hopefully that will change shortly. As Newcastle have a throw in here now. Just having a look here. That's a good play there from the Newcastle man. Is he going to win the corner? And it's gone behind. In fact, it hasn't gone behind. It's stayed in play. In fact, it's gone all the way through to Robert Sanchez. He just bowls it out. And Brighton look to counter and come on the attack now. And John Joe Shelby does really well there to put that one behind for a throw-in. And Brighton have to start again. Of course, we've got some great football on the channel as well, coming up with the Spurs game tomorrow, where, of course, they go to a good, is it Palace? I think it is Palace, if I believe to be correct. Good Palace side as well. And, of course, Arsenal play West Ham, which I'm not too sure if we're going to be covering yet. We may do, may not. But right here, right now, it is Newcastle and Brighton at the Amex Stadium, and it's still goalless. So Brighton versus Newcastle, just the other way around. And lead durations, fewest minutes of leading away. Newcastle have only led for 62 minutes this season as well, which is the fewest of anyone, including the likes of Sheffield United and West Brom as well, which is quite a surprising stat, that one. It's very good, though, very interesting. As the Newcastle goalkeeper just smashes it forward there towards his front man, but it's now back with Brighton. And it is Veltman, I think it is, no, not Veltman, sorry, it is actually Trossard in possession. Now Bissouma. Bissouma knocks it on to Pascal Gross. And he knocks it on to Neil Maupay now. It was good defending that time and put behind for a throw-in. That was Isaac Hayden dropping back there, another former Arsenal man as well. Had a couple of spells out on loan, and then of course he signed for Newcastle permanently. Here's Pascal Gross now. He's going to play it into midfield onto Lewis Dunk, who's been coming a little bit further forward, and he plays it out to Veltman, who just knocks it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And we're still awaiting the first real shot on goal in terms of chances created. They're actually on target. Half chances, we've had a few, but not an awful lot. And it's still remaining goalless. 26.5 minutes played. Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. Here's Adam Lallana now. trying to make something happen. Here's Neil Morpie. Is he going to be able to feed Danny Welbeck? Might not need to. Great defending by John Joe Shelby, though. There's 3 or 4 Newcastle bodies around him there, and it was really well shut down by the Newcastle midfield and defence there. They obviously know what Neil Morpie can do. The fact he's done it twice in the reverse fixture as well. And here's Gael Basuma now. He plays the ball out to Pascal Gross via, I think it was Ben White, in fact, as well. And he has to go back to Lewis Dunk now. Plays it into Basuma. Lewis Dunk gets it back. Lewis Dunk onto Ben White. And a bit of patient build-up now from the Seagulls. And here's Lewis Dunk out to the left side to Veltman. We're going to just go back to Lewis Dunk again. And now he's going to knock it on to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. He's playing a bit of keep ball at the moment, Brighton. Of course, we'll run you through the 2 lineups again in a second as well. It's for anyone that's joining late. But as it stands, Basuma's in possession here. And here is the man, I think that's Trossard, is it? I'm not too sure. But anyway, here's Basuma again. On to White now. Newcastle are going to get that one clear of days. That's a good play there from Brighton, and it is now with Neil Morpie. And plays it out to this left side to, I think that's into Basuma anyway. Might have been Trossard. It's a good play there. Is it going to win the corner? No, it's straight into the hands of the Newcastle goalkeeper. So the lineups for anyone that's joining late: Dubravka starts in goal. Manquillo, Lascelles, Clark, Dummett, Willock, Shelby, Hayden, Joe Linton, Almiron and Fraser. I'll go through the Brighton side in a minute because they've got possession now with Pascal Gross. It's a good play there from Isaac Hayden and smash clear and all the way back through to the Brighton defence. And they line up with Sanchez, Moda, White, Dunk, Veltman, Gross, Basuma, Lallana, Trossard, Welbeck and Morpie. And here is Gross right now over on this touchline. He's going to whip it in. And here, good delivery. And it's gone behind the man, and actually there's a free kick on Jamal Lascelles in there as well. Subs: Andy Carroll, Richie, Gale, Lewis, Hendrick, Fernandez, Murphy, Darlow and Longstaff. That's Sean Longstaff for Newcastle. And McAllister, Hankabash, Alzate, Izquierdo, Tao, Still, Proper, Dakiri and Byrne make up the bench for Brighton. Just having a look what actually happened there. It was Danny Welbeck, the man that shoved Lascelles to the floor. And we are just coming up to the half an hour point of the game. Still remains 0-0. And it is a free kick to be taken by Martin Dubravka, the Slovak goalkeeper. Going to smash this one long as well into the Brighton half. It's Newcastle head on it, but it's only gone behind for a throw. Of course, they're just saying tomorrow's the big Old Firm Celtic and Rangers game as well. Not as big as it has been in previous years, but still going to be big, of course. I'm sure Celtic fans will want to get one over on Rangers to stop them going the season undefeated. And I'm sure Rangers will want to keep up their record as well with staying undefeated this season. So here is Basuma now. Out to Veltman. On to Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk on to White now. Here's Gross. Going to whip it in towards Danny Welbeck. He's going to keep it in here. Yes, he is as well. It's gone straight to him, in fact. Danny Welbeck whips it in. And it's good defending that time from Kieran Clark, I think that was. Hey, and the Newcastle man there, which I believe to be Almiron, has forced it back. But it's now with Brighton and Basuma. And here is Lewis Dunk now. Basuma again, on to Veltman now. Knocks it ahead of him to Trossard, gets it back. Into Basuma now. Here is Lewis Dunk again. People were certainly looking at Lewis Dunk. Let's have a look here at what's going to happen there. In fact, it was given away. But here's a chance here for Brighton now. And it is Neil Morpie. Whips the delivery in, and it's John Joe Shelby. Clears that one. But only as far as Gael Basuma. Now, I was just going to say that people were looking as far as Lewis Dunk maybe for an England call-up as well. surprising that he's not had a look in, especially with some of the faces that have. But that's for maybe at half time. We might discuss that. Lewis Dunk, of course, doesn't ever really get a look in for England, and he does put in a good performance week in, week out, or more often than not, at the very least, for Brighton, and maybe does deserve a call up. Here's Pascal Gross now. Here is Ben White. Into Trossard. He's going to get it back, is he? No, good play there from John Joe Shelby. And Newcastle just playing it. Here's Almiron now. John Joe Shelby again. He's given the ball away in midfield there to Trossard. He's had to knock it back to Dunk. He's had to knock it back to Sanchez. And Sanchez just plays it into Basuma now. Here is Lallana, I think that was. In fact, it wasn't. It was actually Trossard, I think. But anyway, here's Neil Maupay. They're going to get in. Here's Pascal Gross now. Now it's Trossard for Brighton. On to Neil Maupay. It's gone way past him and out of play for a Newcastle throw-in. You see that Graham Potter is quite pleased with the way his team are playing, trying to build out there. Stephen Clements, not so. He was just happily sitting there chewing his gum. He wasn't really that fussed. Of course, the former Tottenham player, Stephen Clements, as well. As it looks like it's an injury here for the Newcastle goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka. Now he's got a problem with his ankle there, I think it is. So he's going to be treated. We've got the physio on now, and everyone seems to be going off for a water break or a bit of a drink break. Joe Willock been quiet in this first half. Hasn't really done a lot. Hasn't got into the game yet. The on loan Arsenal man, as Martin Dubravka is still getting some treatment, and the two managers are getting their instructions across to their players. With around about 11 minutes of this first half to go, still remaining goalless. So we'll wait and see what we've got in terms of anything that may happen with this injury. I think it's going to be Martin Dubravka is going to be fine. He looks like he's going to be okay. But Steve Bruce is just having a word. Who's that with? Joe Linton, possibly, is it? And Almiron with some of his forwards. And Dubravka, as I sort of assumed, was going to be fine, is fine, and back to his feet. Physio is now off, and looks like Den's going to be underway again with this goal kick, is it? No, it's for this throw-in, in fact. Thought he was going to take a goal kick there. Excuse me. My apologies. It was actually a throw. And it's thrown in by the Newcastle left back, which is Dummett, and it's on to, who's this now? Is that Almiron? Yes, is that Almiron? Yeah. Trying to feed the ball down the line. That's a great tackle by Basuma on, I think that was Joe Linton. He got to, yeah, it was a great tackle as well. And there's a bit of a scuffle there between Almiron. Is it Almiron? Yeah, and somebody else, but anyway, the throw's gone Newcastle's way. And it's now Isaac Hayden. Here's Almiron again. Joe Willett was in the box there as well, looking for an opportunity, as was Joe Linton. It was actually Ryan Fraser trying to put the delivery in. The former Bournemouth man, signed on the back of their relegation, of course, which... Of course, Bournemouth, the side that was covered in the lunchtime game with their FA Cup defeat. And Newcastle are going to get a few into the box here, including Jamal Lascelles, Isaac Hayden, and also Kieran Clark as well. Good delivery. It's an opportunity here for Newcastle now. It's Almiron. John Joe Shelby whips in. It's headed wide there by... That was Isaac Hayden, the man at the back post. He just knocked that one wide. I think it was actually John Joe Shelby's cross originally, and Isaac Hayden in space there. Couldn't direct his attempt on target. Didn't test the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Still still awaiting the first goal, and probably the first real shot on target, in fact, as well. We've had 36 minutes, almost 37. We'll probably have a moment or two at the end of this half as well to decide in terms of stoppage time, probably about a minute as things stand. Here's Basuma now. Gross onto the defence now with White and Dunk combining. White's got it back. And Ben White's going to play this one in to the channel, is he? No, he's not. He gives it to Morpay. Here's Lallana now. On it goes to Trossard. Back to Lallana again. Gets it back from Morpay. It actually wasn't Trossard, I don't think. Here's Trossard now. Now it's Pascal Gross. Now it's Trossard into the area he goes. Put in, and it's a great block there on the goal line, I believe, to deny Neil Morpay. I don't think it was going in, but the Newcastle man wasn't sure of that. He had to do very well to get that. I think it might have been Jamal Lascelles who actually got the block on it. I couldn't quite see. Anyway, it's with Brighton now, and it is in with Pascal Gross. Good trickery as well, good footwork. Does it again, and then he just completely miscues that. So he does 2 bits of trickery, 2 bits of skill, and then miscues the cross. So 2 bits of good, and then a terrible attempt of a cross from the Brighton number 13 there. Maybe it's the unlucky number on the back of his shirt, who knows. There's certainly good skill from the original one. And I'm just trying to have a look at this opportunity now again. Who was it on the line? It was... couldn't quite see. I think it might have been Lascelles or Clark. I couldn't quite see which one it was. But it's now a goal kick for Newcastle. Dubravka's going to smash it forward into the Brighton half, and it actually ends up going out of play over the head of Isaac Hayden. And it's thrown in here by White onto Dunk, and then he gets it back. Ben White now onto Lewis Dunk again. It's coming down this right now with, down this left now with Veltman, sorry. They're going to try and play it down the right, are they now? Are they going to try and find Moda? I'm not too sure. It's Ben White anyway. He's going to play it into midfield, is he? He's taking an age here. It's Ben White trying to find the right pass, and he actually does find Pascal Gross now. Here's Basuma now, up to Danny Welbeck. He's hogging this left touchline. They're going to take a good touch there, and he's going to play it into midfield to Basuma now. Yves Basuma. Onto the Dunk now, and I think that's Veltman. Playing a 1-2 there with Basuma. Basuma gets it back. Here's Lallana now. Good play this from Brighton. Neil Morpay. It's now on to Pascal Gross. Here's Basuma. It's foul there from Moda, the number 15. So it actually looks like he's playing at left back rather than at right back, which is what I've got. Maybe they're playing on opposite sides. The number 15 and the number 34. I'll have to double check that at half time and see. Or maybe they're 2 playing down the left side. It might even be that, in fact. Might be more on that sort of way of doing it. I'm not too sure. But either way, it is a free kick to Newcastle. And it's still remaining goalless, with around about 5 minutes of the 45 of the first half to go. And it is Martin Dubravka, who is perfectly fine after that little knock as well. He's going to take the goal kick and smashes it forwards. And good defending that time by, I think that was actually Moda again, was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was in fact. It's going to play for a throw in here now to Brighton, which Veltman's over. So it does look like they're both playing down that left side. That looked like a bit of a foul throw from Veltman, but referee says no. Wasn't quite sure. It didn't look legal to me. There's a free kick here to Newcastle though. That was a foul on Isaac Hayden, who's gone down holding his groin, I think that is. Just in a bit of agony at the moment. He's bashing the turf as well. He was in a collision with Basuma, the number 8. And Isaac Hayden's just getting some treatment now. Of course, the Seagulls have actually remained unbeaten against Newcastle as well in the Premier League. They were unbeaten in all 7 games against them, winning 3 of those and drawing 4. And only against West Ham have they played as many games and remained undefeated. So it'd be interesting to see whether they can do that again in this one. And Newcastle have faced Brighton more than any other team without victory as well. And they've only scored 1 goal in the process. And actually, if you look on the balance of things in this first 42.5 minutes or so, you can see why. You really can see why. Brighton are the side that are threatening a lot more. And they've had a couple of opportunities, have the Seagulls. And Newcastle, you can see why they've only scored 1 goal in the process of facing Brighton. Just having a look here. What is Russ saying? Okay, it's actually a back 3. So it's actually okay. All right, that makes sense. I'll have to adjust that at half time, but that makes perfect sense. Yeah, and it looks like there's going to be a substitution. It looks like there's is that Jeff Hendrick? Maybe he's going to be forced into coming on here for Newcastle. They've got a few minutes to wait till half time, but they don't want to. Isaac Hayden's evening, I should say, looks like coming to an end. It looks like a painful end as well. It looks like it's going to be stretchered off, the Newcastle man. So I'm just having a look here now. We're just getting the stretcher ready and bringing it on. And of course, everyone wants to, see the player back up and walking off rather than being stretchered off. But needs must here for the former Arsenal man. He's going to be stretchered off here. And this is going to be a blow to Newcastle as well. He's going to be making way for the former Burnley man, Jeff Hendrick, any minute now. He's just going to be put onto the stretcher now. You can actually see, I think it's Basuma, the man that caught him. He's pretty much in tears, to be fair, about the severity of this injury to Isaac Hayden. And he actually looked pretty distraught now and was being consoled by Danny Welbeck. And this substitution is going to be made any moment, but it's never nice to see from either perspective there. The player that unfortunately collides with the player and makes the foul, and obviously the man going off as well. There you can see Basuma, he's got his hands on his head. He's distraught. He is really down about that whole injury there to Isaac Hayden that obviously his collision with him caused. And I think they've got oxygen on Isaac Hayden there as well, if I believe. And Steve Bruce is looking on. He looks very worried actually as well. He's got his other staff surrounding him as well. Just want to have a look here. Yeah, it was a follow through from the Brighton midfielder. Actually, it wasn't the original foul. It was a follow through there that caught the back of Isaac Hayden's legs and took him out. And it looks like he's in a lot of discomfort. And he is going to be replaced any second now by Jeff Hendrick, the former Burnley man, as Isaac Hayden's just been put onto the stretcher and the Newcastle players are just knocking it around. Of course, we saw this or a similar kind of incident, obviously with a head injury at Wolves in the last one of the last games we covered last week at the end of their game as well, where we saw, I think it was about 11 minutes of stoppage time in the end. Obviously, we're into 3 minutes of stoppage time now. It's never nice to see these sort of, players getting injured or anything like that. Hopefully Isaac Hayden isn't going to be as severely hurt as he actually looks when he's been put onto the stretcher there right now and carried off. Hopefully he can get a speedy recovery, of course, the former gunner. It's going to be replaced by Jeff Hendrick there, Isaac Hayden being replaced by. And it's a moment for the former Burnley man to shine, of course. And of course, all our well wishes go to Isaac Hayden right now, though. And Basuma there just sort of shakes his hand as he comes off as well, or fist bumps him or whatever. As we are into the second minute of the free added on, and it's still goalless. probably have a few more minutes added on, because this has probably taken an extra minute or two to get Isaac Hayden off as well, onto the stretcher and off the field. And he's been taken and wheeled straight off as well, down the tunnel, on top of a double stretcher by the looks of that. He's got a sort of, I'm not too sure what that is in fact, so he's sort of wheeled off on anyway. And Jeff Hendrick has had to come on to replace him, and it is the first forced change of the game. And we're into the last of those 3 minutes of added time as well, still remaining at 0-0. No real incidents of note, but of course, Isaac Hayden getting that injury there is a big blow for Newcastle as well. So hopefully everything's going to be all right with him. It's now with Bissouma now. Manny was very distraught about that last collision there as well. On the follow through, he knocks it out to, I think that was not Veltman, the other one, Moda. And it's now a chance here, fired a goal and into the back of the net. And Brighton lead. I think that's Trossard. I just want to see who it is, in fact. I think it might even be Trossard. I just want to have a look. It was a good bit of play there from Brighton. And I just want to have a look at who actually got the shot away and whether it took any deflections, etc. as well. But it was good play there down the line. I think it was a good touch from Neil Morpie, not Neil Morpie. It was actually Trossard who took the touch, I think, and he just fired it into the back of the net. Was it Trossard? Yes, it was. It was a great touch from him originally, and then fires that one into the back of the net. No chance for Martin Dubravka. And Newcastle have just suffered, obviously losing Isaac Hayden there to injury, and then now a goal down as well, just on the stroke of half time. It's Brighton 1, Newcastle 0, and it's Leandro Trossard, the Belgian, getting his goal there as well. It was Veltman's pass to him as well, so great delivery there. And we're still playing as well. Not too sure how much added we'll have in the extended stoppage time. It's with Lallana now. Here's Veltman again. And it's now with Dunk and White. And referee hasn't looked at his watch yet, I don't believe. So he's just letting it roll on. Here's Bissouma now. To White again, on to Dunk now. Of course, this is a great time for Brighton to get that goal as well, just on the stroke of half time. We'll give them a lot of momentum in the second half and moving forward. Of course, they won the reverse, as we said, by 3-0 as well. And Newcastle do struggle to score in this fixture. They actually struggle to score in general, but even more so in this fixture, as Brighton just still knocking it around. Referee still letting the game continue with Lewis Dunk and Veltman now, and all the way back to Sanchez. We've had almost 5 minutes of stoppage time. Of course, the injury happened on the brink of the 45 as well. Here's Pascal Gross now. On to Trossard, the goal scorer. And here, down the line is, I think it was actually Veltman. I couldn't quite see, but the whistle was gone for half-time. And at the break, with Leandro Trossard's 48th minute goal, I suppose, or 45th plus 3rd minute goal on the back of that injury to Isaac Hayden. The Seagulls are leading in this relegation 6-pointer against the Magpies, the Battle of the Birds, and it is Brighton that lead at the moment.
Yes, it is, Mike. Brighton 1, Newcastle 0 at the break. And I'm just looking up at some stats which came up just before the half-time whistle went regarding Newcastle United. And when Newcastle have conceded first this season in the Premier League, the record doesn't make good reading. So if any Newcastle fans are listening to this, switch it off now. They have played 24. They've conceded the first goal in 24 games, won none, drawn 6, with 18 defeats. Newcastle.
Yeah, see, I saw that as well, and I also just saw that this would be Brighton's first league double over Newcastle as well, if things remain this way, of course, in the final 45, or if Brighton can go on and add to that, since the 1978-79 campaign. So quite a while ago, and the times that Newcastle have got positive results in the league against Brighton, they've all come in either the Cup or the old second or first division, not actually in the Premier League itself.
Yes, I actually noticed that, Mike, earlier when I was looking up some stuff. I didn't write any down. I just had a quick look earlier just before we came on air, and I noticed that as well, Mike. And what I've noticed during the game, I think, and I think overall, I think Brighton boss Graham Potter will be happy with with our sides performed in that first half. Brighton, I think, on the balance of play, possibly deserve the lead. Newcastle came back into it a little bit after a good start from Brighton. But overall, I think Newcastle have not done a lot to cause Brighton any real problems and cause
No,
problems.
you can. Sorry, I was just going to say, you can certainly see that the fact that they've only scored that one goal in the process against Brighton. You can certainly see why that is, and it's going to take a lot to add to that in the second half. Yes, they've got options on the bench with Andy Carroll and Dwight Gale, and some of the others as well. But then, of course, they've just been forced into using the sub right on the stroke of half time there with that collision that saw Isaac Hayden have to come off with Gael Basuma following through on the back of that tackle. So that's one sub down and one attacking player they might not be able to bring on that they would have done otherwise.
Yes, and if you look at the position in the table at the moment, with the result as it stands, Brighton have moved on to 32 points now, point behind Burnley, point behind Southampton. Southampton, they played the same amount of games, Brighton and Southampton and Burnley. You've got a game in hand over Fulham and game in hand over a few other only game in hand over Fulham and Man City. They can't really catch Man City, but they could get drawn into the relegation battle. And last night's win for Leeds against Fulham, I know I mentioned it at the top of the show, and I mentioned it in the two previous shows that we did with the live commentaries on as well. That last night's win for Leeds against Fulham relieved a bit of pressure on Newcastle and Brighton, knowing we can go into this game, and if we can get a win, we'll be pulling away from that bottom three. Even with a draw, Newcastle will be 3 points clear of the bottom three, going in with a game in hand, going into the running towards the end of the season now. And if you look at the actual way the Newcastle have set up today, yes, they've had to make that change. But prior to that, making that change and where they set up today, they didn't really set up, or they didn't. I don't think they had the right players out there which could cause Brighton problems. Almond just coming back from injury. For me, I want to put him in from the start.
Maybe off the bench. That's and of course, if you look at that there, what I will say is bringing on Jeff Hendrick. That even that does add a little bit of an attacking threat to Newcastle, even because Isaac Hayden. What he does is more sort of a holding midfielder. Sometimes drops back and helps out the defence more than what Jeff Hendrick does, and he can create a bit more going forward. And he's quite well known even from his time at Burnley for getting forward and just seeing the goal there as well. That was a fantastic shot from Trossard. Did he even take a deflection? I need to see it again, but I think it was
I'm looking at this again.
Direct shot. Yeah, no, it didn't. It went straight through the body. Yeah,
yes, no deflection there, Mike. I weren't showing the first couple of replays that they showed during the actual live coverage whether it took a deflection. I'm just seeing it again here now from behind the goal here. Let's have a look from this angle. No, it just bends it beautifully. The defender, I'm not sure that Newcastle defender was.
It was it Lascelles or Clark? It was one of the two centre backs anyway. Yeah,
I think it may have been, if I just look at it from this angle and pause it just there. Lascelles is covering Dubravka's eye line for the shot.
He's blocking
blocking his view, and he couldn't really get down to make that shot until it was very late and the ball was in the back of the net. But take nothing away from Velman, fantastic ball, fantastic touch from Trossard as well.
That first touch is as good as you'll see this weekend. People have said, Manchester City and Everton, and of course they've just played their FA Cup tie, etc. And Kevin De Bruyne and Richarlison and people like that. That first touch was Messi-like. That was a great first touch.
Yes, what I'm going to add to that as well, Mike. If you say it's Messi-like, it's also Ronaldo-like, Cristiano
Yeah,
Ronaldo-like, and
for
if
sure.
and if it was either Ronaldo or Messi, we'd be seeing that touch 3, 4, possibly 5, maybe even on towards 10, 15 times in
Yeah.
this next coming week. But we've
Oh,
been
absolutely.
Trossard and we've been playing for Brighton, not Barcelona, Juventus, Real Madrid, top
Mm-hmm.
clubs in Europe. We will be seeing it for so many times over this next week. Yes, you may see it on Match of the Day later, or you may see it on Sky Sports News over the weekend, or programs like that. But during the actual other games, you won't see it.
Nah, and that touch makes the goal as well. You know, he controls it himself. The space is there. He runs into the space, and he just fires that one. Obviously, past Dubravka there, and into the corner of the net. And Brighton deserve the lead as well. Newcastle have only had one opportunity, and I think that was actually off target as well. And yeah, it was certainly Brighton deserved the lead out of these two sides, and Newcastle have a lot to do in the second half to get back into this one.
Yes, I do, Mike. And I'm just seeing some stats here about Leandro Trossard as well.
Yeah.
And Leandro Trossard has scored in back-to-back Premier League matches for the first time since July.
Mm-hmm.
7 of Trossard's 9 Premier League goals have now been scored at the Amex.
Yeah.
And there's only Neil Maupay who has scored more Premier League goals this season than Trossard.
Yeah, which is great, isn't it? And of course, Neil Maupay, I'm sure he wants a goal as well. He's on a little bit of a barren spell in front of goal right now. Of course, as I said before a couple of times on the stream, he scored a brace in the reverse fixture. But he's actually in dire need of a goal at the moment, Neil Maupay. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see whether he can grab that in the second half because he's been, I think it's 9 games without a goal in the league.
Yeah, 9 games without a goal in the league now this season, and be interesting to see if he can get that goal in the second half. And a question for you, Mike. I'm not sure what you'll think about this, and a question to the listeners out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
If Brighton go down this season,
Yeah.
do you reckon Neil Maupay will be a Brighton player this time next season?
Oh, see, it's a big if. I think Brighton they'll be fine. I think they'll stay up. I think Newcastle, with the team out of these two that are playing now, in a lot more danger. So you could maybe even throw that the other way and say, would you think that Almiron or the likes of John Joe Shelby might want to be sticking around at a Championship Newcastle? But for Neil Maupay, if Brighton were to go down, I can see him moving on. But as I said, I think Newcastle will decide more in danger out of these two.
Yes, and that's where I think as well. And if say if Brighton win here, it'll take them 6 points clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
But with a better goal difference than Fulham. Fulham only have 8 games left. Brighton have 9 games left. Newcastle 2 points above the Cottagers with a worse goal difference. And on the final day of the season, Mike, Fulham against Newcastle on the
Yeah,
final day of
well, I
the
touched on it
season.
earlier that Newcastle's game even before that is Sheffield United as well. So 2 games that Sheffield United, yeah, they're as good as down anyway, but they could build. They could really still have a big part to play in who follows them into the Championship next year.
Yes, I think already, Mike. Yes, West Brom have got 9 games left, 10 point swing. Yes, potentially they could get out of it. But I think the
Yeah,
bottom two, I think Sheffield United and West Brom, for me, anyway, they're already down next season.
yeah, I
I
agree with that. Yeah.
I think I don't think Brighton will go down, but I still put that question across there if you thought
Mm-hmm.
Mopey be there next season if they are in the Championship and they still be here at this point next season. But
Yeah, and I
for
don't
me,
think he will. I think if they were to go down, or if they were to be drawn into it and get forced into to going down, it won't just be him. There'll be a few that end up leaving from Brighton. Trossard. There'd be a few others as well. Lewis Dunk possibly would be sought after by a few Premier League teams, no doubt.
yes, and I think whoever wins a Craven Cottage on the final day of the season between Fulham and Newcastle
Yeah.
will stay up. I think it'll go down to that final day, and whoever wins in that game, they will stay up. Whoever loses, they will go down.
See, it makes for a good game anyway, though. I'm sure if that's the case, somebody on the channel will certainly be covering.
Yeah, I think that's one of the games people have said to be covering. I will be presenting or producing it, that final game of the season that day because of watching Leeds' final game of the first Premier League season back in 16 years against a team which is already down for me, West Bromwich Albion. We've got them at Elmwood on the final day of the season. And also, Mike, I'm just looking here at this as well. Newcastle haven't won any of their last 23 Premier League games when behind half time.
Yeah.
Losing 20 of them.
And then the others just being draws. They have a couple of 2 or 3 games. Yeah.
The last time they did was 2 years ago in a 3-2 win over Everton.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's come that far back.
Yes, just over 2 years ago against Everton was the last time Newcastle came back from losing at half time.
But this is a shame. If you're a Newcastle fan and you're watching on this game now, I remember a Newcastle side that were 4-0 down at I think it was at home to Arsenal and come back and drew 4-4. I think it was Sheikh Tiossi who even scored the 4th goal. And of course, he's passed away since that couple of years, well, quite a few years back now. But you have to look at that Newcastle side and think, yeah, that Newcastle side had some fight. They had determination. This Newcastle side are 1-0 down to a Brighton side who are just above them in the league. But you can't see any way back for Newcastle. It's unreal. It's crazy.
It is, Mike. And that game I've just been mentioning there, when the last time they came from 2-0 down Newcastle to win, was 9th of March 2019 at St James's Park against Everton. They were losing 2-0 with Charlton Calvert-Lewin up and scoring before Charlton scored. Then Solomon Rondon. He pulled one back. And then next one to pull one back was now Leicester, Jose Perez.
Yeah.
And then that was on 81 minutes, Rondon scored on 65. Calvert-Lewin on 18, Richarlison on 32. And then the 84th minute winner from Leicester's Jose Perez.
Yeah, when he was obviously not playing for Leicester at that time. Yeah.
When he was a Newcastle at that point, was now at Leicester. Well, be interesting to see if Newcastle can come from behind on this occasion.
Yeah, and the teams are out now as well.
Yeah, teams are back out. So what I'm going to do,
kickoff's going to be back underway
hand
again.
over to Mike now. So Mike, over to you.
Cheers, thanks a lot. Second half's going to be getting underway in a second. The referee's just checking everything's all right with all the players and the management staff, etc. Ready to go. He's going to blow his whistle for the second half as Steve Bruce just enters back out now as well. And it's back underway. And Brighton, of course, leading by that 1-0, which was scored by Leandro Trossard just before the break as well. And they are playing just down the line in the home blue shirt, of course. And here is Neil Maupay now. He looks quite up for this game, actually. And here's Basuma now. Sorry, Danny Welbeck, actually, I should say. Here's Maupay now. He's been forced backwards. Actually, it's Trossard. I keep getting them wrong there. Maybe I should put my teeth back in. Here's Lewis Dunk now. That one was right. Here's Robert Sanchez. Lewis Dunk again. I don't think any subs have been made at the break. Just that one forced change just before the break in Newcastle's Jeff Hendrick coming on for the injured Isaac Hayden. But other than that, the two sides remain as they were. And Newcastle will have a throw-in right now. And it is just going to be taken over here by Manquillo. Throws it in. He gets it back, in fact, from Almiron as well. And they're playing a 1-2 now. And that's good play there from the Brighton man. And it's now an opportunity there for Neil Maupay to try and feed Danny Welbeck. And he couldn't quite get in. Good defend in there from Kieran Clark. All the way back to the goalkeeper. And it's just put into midfield now. And out of play for a throw-in, which has gone in favour of Brighton, I believe. And it is the number 15, Moda. I'm going to be taking this one. He's leaving it to Veltman, in fact. And Veltman throws it in to Lewis Dunk now. And he has to go back to his goalkeeper, Sanchez. Of course, Russ made some good points there in regards to the stats as well. So it'd be really interesting to see if Newcastle can bounce back and get an equaliser here. And maybe go on and possibly win it as well. But we'll wait and see. There's a substitute getting warmed up there. I'm not quite sure who that is for. Who is that? Is that for Newcastle? Couldn't quite see, in fact. But anyway, it's a throw-in now in favour. Is that a throw-in or a free kick? I think John Joe Shelby's gone down. It was actually a Newcastle player warming up. I couldn't quite see which one it was. It might have been Richie. Is that a free kick on John Joe Shelby, or has it gone behind for a throw? Let's see. Right in front of the managerial dugout there. It's now John Joe Shelby on to Lascelles. On the way back, it goes to Dubravka. And Martin Dubravka going to take a touch and just play this one out into midfield now. And on it goes to Joe Willock. So he's got it back as well. Joe Willock, let's see whether he can make something happen here for Newcastle. The on-loan Arsenal man, he wasn't able to. And here is the goal scorer for Brighton, Trossard now. Going to place one out to the right side towards Gross, who couldn't keep it in. And maybe, if anyone, wants to do this for Isaac Hazen, it might even be Joe Willock more than anyone to actually come in and play a part here in getting Newcastle back into this. The fact that they both come through the academy at Arsenal together, I'm sure they're very good friends as well. And here is Newcastle with possession, and it is an opportunity here with Almiron. And it's fired into the off the post. I thought it was literally into the back of the net then from Fraser. It looked like it was heading in, and it fired off the post, and it's gone behind for a throw-in, I believe, as well. It was Almiron onto Fraser, and that did look in, literally off the post. And how close could you get there, Ryan Fraser? Really not far away from making that 1-1. But things still remain as they were. Just the whisker off the post there, saving Brighton. I certainly did think that one was in. I'm certainly right behind that. I did think it was in the back of the net. As Brighton are just playing it out now with the captain, which is Lewis Dunk. Going to play it out to midfield as well. Trying to play the long ball into Welbeck, Danny Welbeck. And he is beaten to the ball there by Dubravka. And that really is a great sighter there for Newcastle. Actually give them a bit of confidence in the second half now to get back into the game and to get this equaliser. As much as obviously we said that their record isn't great, they don't really score many goals in this fixture. That is certainly, you're only an inch away there from making it 1-1 was the Newcastle man there, which of course, as I mentioned, was Ryan Fraser, the former Bournemouth man. Here's John Joe Shelby now. It's given the ball away, is he? No, it's got it back. John Joe Shelby there towards Almiron, and just smashes it out to this left side towards it wasn't Hendrick, was it? It was what was it? Who was it? I couldn't quite see. It was actually towards Fraser, in fact, on this right side, or left side, something I should say. And Brighton have this throw in now. It's just in to Lallana, who smashes it forward, and on it goes into midfield. Here's Danny Welbeck now. Danny Welbeck's going to cut inside. He's going to have a shot. Yes, he is. And a great finish that is from Danny Welbeck. What a goal from the former Arsenal man. The goalkeeper has no chance with that. That is another peach of a goal. Danny Welbeck makes it 2. And Brighton are certainly going to be on the course right now for another victory. And I'm sure Ryan Fraser and Steve Bruce and co are kicking themselves on the back of just hitting the post right a minute or two before that as well. And that was great. Danny Welbeck cuts inside and fires that one from just outside the box into the corner of the net, and Brighton are now 2 ahead, and that is a great goal from the former Arsenal and Man United man who has done that all of his career. Just 5 goals in like that into the back of the net. That was a great goal. I don't think that one took a deflection either. No, it didn't. Straight in. And all to do for Newcastle now. Here's John Joe Shelvey. Knocks it on to his goalkeeper, Dubravko. Plays it out to the left back. Done it. And Brighton, the tails are up now, that's for sure. They're really looking to seal this game. Of course, it was 3-0 in the reverse fixture. That's Danny Welbeck's 3rd of the season for Brighton as well. First goal since December. Just a few days before Christmas, in fact, in December. And Newcastle are looking to play the ball down the line here. So it was Jeff Hendrick, I think that was there. Couldn't quite keep it in though. And it is Steve Bruce, the man who has really got it all to do now. Currently, Brighton 2, Newcastle 0. Goals from Leandro Trossard on the stroke of half-time. And Danny Welbeck just doubling that lead just a moment or two ago, just after half-time. And that is 2 perfectly timed goals from a Brighton perspective. And I'm sure Tony Bloom, the chairman, and the likes of Graham Potter, the manager, are going to be delighted as things stand right now. Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley, not so much so. And here is the Danny Welbeck. Getting the ball from Moda. It's gone behind for a throw. And of course, John Joe Shelvey there just smashes that one clear. Graham Potter is definitely delighted there. You can see that, and he's very motivated. You can see he's trying to get his instructions across, but you can see he's trying not to smile. But you can see, I think he is happy, in smiling. Beyond that, his sort of focused face, determined winning mentality face. But still a long way to go yet. Here's John Joe Shelvey, and it's on to Lallana. He's going to leave this one for Morpie. Danny Welbeck's breaking in now. Here's is it Moda again? Moda has an effort, and it's straight at the goalkeeper and comfortable for him. Claims that one nice and easily and just bowls it out to his left back. Damn it as well. And here is Newcastle now trying to break down this left side, and it is. Oh, on it goes. Good defender. Was that Damn up against? No, Fraser. Sorry, in fact, up against the defender that time. Good defending it was as well. Here's Lallana now battling with the Newcastle man Hendrick, and Dummett has to concede the throw. Just showing Ryan Fraser's effort again. I think to smash the post just a minute ago as well, just before the goal. It was super close from a Newcastle perspective, and they really weren't far away from making it 1-1. And then just a minute or two later, it's 2-0 through Danny Welbeck, who puts that one coolly into the back of the net. So Brighton are certainly, they were counting their chickens 1 minute, and then the second they're cheering and celebrating the fact they've gone on and made it 2. So it's great from a Brighton perspective, no doubt. And it's a good play, good ball there, sorry, from Sanchez, the goalkeeper. It's knocked on. It's done it now. Into midfield it is. It's no foul. Brighton looks to bring it forward. It's Ben White. He's going to get it back, and no, he's not. He gives it to Trossard, the scorer of the first. He gives it, trying to feed Moda. It's good play there from Newcastle, and Almiron trying to play it through towards Joe Linton, and it's great defending there from Veltman. He just puts it out of play, no nonsense for a throw-in, and Joe Linton couldn't do an awful lot with that one. As you see, a couple of Newcastle substitutions getting ready as well. Possibly Dwight Garrell being one of those who they might be looking at. Of course, Andy Carroll, if they want to put a big man on, no doubt, will probably come on at some stage in this final 34 and a bit minutes. Here's John Joe Shelvey now. That's done it. Into, who's that? Hendrick, I think. Gets it back. from Fraser. Bit of silky skills now. Dumb it onto Shelby. To Clark, to Lascelles, the captain of Newcastle. On it goes to right back Manquillo. Plays it into the midfield, does he? No, yeah, he goes back, in fact, to Lascelles. Onto Kieran Clark. He's got to turn and think quickly as well, and then give it out to the left back, damn it. Knocks it on there to Ryan Fraser. He's giving the ball away. And Brighton are forced all the way back, and it's Lewis Dunk, I believe, in possession of the ball. Into Basuma now. Just knocks on there once again by Dunk to his defensive partner. He gets it back and it goes long in towards Trossard. I think that was, but he couldn't quite but he couldn't control it. And Newcastle looked to go and counter, but it's a good play there from Yves Basuma. And Brighton looks to try and play through the midfield now with Morpie. Morpie trying to feed this one to Welbeck, and goalkeeper Dubravka comes out and smothers that one and claims it nicely. Of course, as things stand, Brighton are on 32 points, Newcastle on 28, just the 2 points above Fulham. And it looks like they said West Brom, looks like they put a relegated next to West Brom already. I don't know what that's about. Although they're, it says they're relegated already on terms of that. I'm not too sure. Maybe they played a couple of games extra or something. If I don't know. That's confusing. I'm pretty sure that's not right. Anyway, back to the action. Here's Dummett now. Into John Joe Shelby. Out it goes to Joe Linton, I think that is. Almiron now. In towards Ryan Fraser. He's going to have a shot, is he? No, he's not. Into Almiron. On to Hendrick now. Jeff Hendrick giving it away. And Brighton can break here through Morpie now. Bad touch. A good defending there from Lascelles, I think. Ian, let's have a look now. Either way, he's trying to feed the ball here to Fraser. Into Willock. Joe Willock now. To Hendrick. And knocks onto the left back. And Ryan Fraser now from Dummett as well. And it whips in, and it's a good play there from Lewis Dunk, who just takes the chest and then smashes it forward. We're coming up to the hour mark of this game. Still Brighton leading by those 2-0 through Trossard and Welbeck. And we certainly haven't got that 0-0 that I was worried about, so that's good. In the last stream, I did mention that my game would probably end 0-0, so quite pleased it isn't. And Brighton have possession here now. I'm sure as a Newcastle fan, you would have probably quite liked it to have been 0-0 still right now, wouldn't you, as well? And it looks like there's a substitution coming on, and it is. Just trying to see who this is coming on and who's going to be making way as well. Brighton change. Newcastle change, I should say, sorry. Just want to see who that is coming on. Might be is it Murphy or Lewis? I couldn't quite see which one. But Brighton have a throw in right now anyway, and it's now with Moda. He's going to smash it forward towards Danny Welbeck. She's a good ball in the end as well. Found his feet. Here's Danny Welbeck now. In to Veltman. On to Basuma. He's going to knock it back in to Dunk. And there's a chance here now for Moda. Here's Welbeck again. Danny Welbeck now. Has to go back to Veltman. Still awaiting that Newcastle sub as well. Be their second of the game, of course. Here's Veltman now. Moda gets it back from Trossard. Moda's going to go again. Good play there from Lallana. It's good to play there and good clearance in the end from John Joe Shelby. And put out a play for a throw-in, which I think means we'll see the second Newcastle change now, which we are indeed. It's going to be Joe Willock making waves. They had a very quiet game, actually. It's not surprising in the slightest that the on-loan Arsenal man is making way. And he's been replaced by 23 Jacob Murphy. And I'm sure Newcastle want to see more from him than what Joe Willock's put into this game, because he has really been on the periphery, that's for sure. And Brighton have a throw in. I was just thrown in here, and Lallana looks to bring it in to midfield. We've got it there, back from Basuma, playing a 1-2 now. Danny Welbeck, yes, the former Arsenal player, that's right, yes. Scoring the second goal for Brighton today. Of course, Arsenal sold him, or actually released him, and he was snapped up on a free transfer from Brighton just a couple of seasons ago. Gets Brighton's second today. He's playing quite well as well, actually. There's a few on there. Joe Willock, I'm sure you know the name as well, the on loan Arsenal man. Played a few Europa League games last year, and this year he's played a few Cup and League games, in fact, as well. He even played in the FA Cup a couple of times. And just having a look here now, it is Lewis Dunk. And Brighton have had 9 attempts to Newcastle's 2. And they still are yet to have an attempt on target, Newcastle here as well. Going into the 62nd minute. And I think we're going to have a booking, which we are. There's a yellow card being pulled out here by referee Anthony Taylor for a foul on, who was that there? Pascal Gross. And the first man into the book is Newcastle's, is that the left back, Paul Dummett? Yep, Newcastle's left back, Paul Dummett. And goes into the book, the Welshman. Of course, Joe Willock is from a very big footballing family. It's not just Joe Willock, it's Chris and Matt as well. They're all former Arsenal players. I think Joe, obviously, is the main one out of those lot. Chris Willock, of course, I think he's playing out in Portugal or Spain, somewhere like that. And Matty as well was playing, I think he might be playing abroad. I know one of them used to play for United as well. I couldn't think which one that was. But all the Willocks are big footballers, a big footballing family. And here is Newcastle now, just winning throwing there. But yeah, Joe Willock, of course, only on this loan as well from Arsenal, so he'll probably be returning to the Emirates next season. At least that's what Mikel Arteta probably hoped. But not on the performances like today. Very much on the periphery and hasn't done a lot at all. Which is no surprise. He's just been hooked as well just now. Here's Leandro Trossard now. Into Basuma. All the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez. He's going to clear this one into the Newcastle half towards Danny Welbeck, but it's good defending there from Manquillo, and it's now going to be hooked clear by him. And he's going to get it back in midfield here. Jeff Hendrick now for Newcastle. Feeding it down the line. Was there a shove there by Joe Linton? I think there may have been, but the referee says carry on anyway because Brighton had possession. And we're about 25 minutes away from the 90. Brighton leading this one 2-0. Very good game so far from a Brighton perspective, not so much from a Newcastle perspective. Here's Morpie now. Basuma. Trossard's on a run there as well. He's going to get it here from the right touchline. It's gone behind actually for a corner ball. And the Brighton man Trossard was in space there. He's only got a goal to his name today. And if that ball would have found him, then he certainly would have probably tested Martin Dubravka, the Newcastle #1, a second time. And this is a good opportunity for Brighton, though, from this corner to get the big guns of Lewis Dunk and Ben White forward, amongst obviously Basuma and Lallana, etc. as well. As they're just panning on Brighton chairman there, who's all got a nice blanket. He's all well wrapped up. And here, oh, it's a good delivery. It's chance here for Brighton still hook clear. John Joe Shelby on the attack. Giving it to Ryan Fraser now. Counter attack for Newcastle. Ryan Fraser. Back to Dummett. Back to Clark. Back to onto Lascelles. Onto Manquillo. Newcastle really have to get the next goal. On it goes now to Murphy, but it's given back there, given away. Here's Veltman. Here is Trossard, for Brighton. Here's Basuma. Of course, Basuma, the man who has already been involved in today's game a little bit with the injury to Isaac Hayden, the Newcastle man who was forced off on the stroke of half time. And Jeff Hendrick came on as a foul there as well from Who was that? It was on Neil Morpie. Might have been Almiron, I think, possibly. And Brighton want to take it quickly. Got the momentum behind them, of course, now. And here is Lallana. Basuma now, Lallana again. Of course, big part of Liverpool's side when they went on and won the Champions League and obviously the league, etc. as well, as played a part in those roles. Signed in the summer. Here's Basuma now. Now Veltman. On to Trossard. On to Moda. He's had quite a good game himself. Up against the Newcastle man. And it goes to Morpie. Here's Basuma now. Now on to Veltman. Plays it in to Danny Welbeck. Good sound by the former Arsenal man against John Joe Shelby. Here's Yves Basuma now. So Lana played a 1-2 with him there. Here's Welbeck again. Danny Welbeck plays it out to this right side now. Left side onto Trossard, I think. It's into Morpie. Neil Morpie gets his goal. The Frenchman has broken that hoodoo of not scoring in the last 9 games. And it is 3-0 to Brighton, just like it was at St James's Park. And it's great ball in from Brighton. Neil Morpie there has got to be delighted to get his goal. All of the players are delighted for him as well. See everyone running over to him. And Neil Morpie, the curse of Newcastle again, gets his 3rd against them this season. I just want to see who it was that delivered that ball in as well. It's a great cutback, really good ball, and it's a great finish from Neil Morpie there. I just want to see who it was that delivered it in, whether it was Trossard or Gross. I couldn't quite see. Are they going to look at VAR maybe for Danny Welbeck? Or is he? No, I think he's come back in time. It was actually, I think it was Pascal Gross with the delivery. And Neil Morpie gets his 8th Premier League goal this season. And that's his 3rd against Newcastle. And Brighton are in cruise control now. The wheels are falling off for Newcastle. It's really falling apart. And they've really got to get a goal just to maybe even salvage a bit of hope now and maybe even a bit of pride, to be honest with you. As Brighton could even go on and maybe get another goal there and become very dominant, because it has been that sort of a one-sided game. Bar that one chance for Newcastle hitting the post through Ryan Fraser, of course, which they're going to have they're going to rule out, is what I'm trying to say there. And here is Brighton now. It's Neil Morpie again. Touch on it goes. There's a man in the box there as well. It's Danny Welbeck. I think it's actually Pascal Gross, was it? Or Trossard. I think it was actually Gross. It's gone behind for a throw-in. And Steve Bruce there looks very dejected, is the word. And Brighton look very confident in possession now, just passing it around his Veltman all the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez via Lewis Dunk. This is a very different Brighton side to the Brighton side that has been seen on a number of occasions this season. Even in that game against West Brom, yes, they had VAR decisions go against them, but they did not play as strongly as this by any stretch of imagination. And still could have got a result on that day, and realistically with VAR should have done as well. But cruising this one by 3-0. With 20 minutes to go, and so it's going to take a lot for Newcastle to get back. But that's football. Football's a funny old game. Here's who was that now? Lallana giving the ball away. Here's Shelby. There's a foul there. Oh no, referee says no, there wasn't. It was Morpie on. I think it was on Almiron, and Brighton are going to counter it. Neil Morpie, great tackle that time. Put behind for a corner ball, and that really did look like the space was opening up there for Brighton to make that 4. It was like 5-on-4 or 4-on-4 or something for a moment then, and really could have been the opportunity for the 4th for Brighton that time, who are now going to overload the box from this corner. Not that they really need to. It's their 3rd corner of the game, Brighton as well. Got Moda, Dunk, White all in there. There's a few being held in there. I think Ben White was being held possibly. But it's with Brighton still, and it's whipped in, and it's good defending that time by themselves. And here is Bissouma now, all the way back to goalkeeper. And he's going to take a touch and smash it forward again. Of course, Newcastle have still got one remaining sub, but what do they do now? What do Steve Bruce do? Steve Bruce and co do? Do they look at, Andy Carroll, Dwight Gale? Or do they look for, the next game or two on the back of that? Because, there's other options that they could bring on, Longstaff maybe as well. But, to get a goal, you've got to bring on Carroll or Gale. They might get you a goal, but they're going to get you free. Or it's taken a lot to get you free anyway with those, the form that they've been in against Brighton in recent years. But anyway, it's with Bissouma now. When it goes to the man in midfield, now Bissouma gets it back through White. Here is Lallana now, plays it into the channel towards Trossard. It's Newcastle in possession here through Dubravka. It gives it to Lascelles, and Lascelles gives it to Manquillo, who goes back to his goalkeeper again. Just want to have a look at some more stats briefly as well. Kieran Clark's got possession now and gives it to Dummett. We said about Brighton's first league double over Newcastle since 1978-79 campaign. That looks on at the moment. Of course, we said about Brighton winning the reverse fixture as well. Newcastle have only won twice in 15 versus Brighton. Looks like being, it certainly looks like being 16 as well, as things stand. What else have we got on here? Brighton just knocking it around anyway at the moment. At the back here, there's a chance here for Newcastle to get a goal back though with Shelvey. Chance here for Hendrick, and it's a good block there from Brighton and cleared in the end by Lewis Dunk. Here's John Joe Shelvey now. Here's Bissouma now on the attack for Brighton, looking for that fourth, trying to feed more play, but it's good goalkeeping from Dubravka. Come out and done very, very well there. Hooks it clear towards the Newcastle man as well, which I think is the blonde-haired Fraser. And here's Shelvey now. Out he goes to Murphy, and Murphy's going back. So Almiron and then Murphy, and now Murphy gets it. Almiron. Sorry, not Almiron. In fact, it's Manquillo. It's Newcastle now with Kieran Clark. Ryan Fraser, Paul Dummett, Ryan Fraser again. He's hit the post already today and can have an effort here. Ryan Fraser, and it's straight at the goalkeeper there, Robert Sanchez, and it's comfortable for him to come and claim. Of course, Brighton leading this one by 3-0. Goal scored by Leandro Trossard, Danny Welbeck, and Neil Maupay. Isaac Hayden forced off just before half-time for Newcastle as well, who came close and hit the post through Ryan Fraser at 1-0. And just a minute or two after that, it was 2-0 with Danny Welbeck's goal. So certainly could have been a different complexion of the game if Newcastle had got the leveller. But it wasn't to be. And here's Brighton with Adam Lallana now. Playing it across to Veltman. Got about 15 minutes of the 90 to play. Here's Bissouma now. On to Moda. Trossard into Maupay. Out it goes to Gross. And it goes to Lallana now. Forced back. It's a chance here for Brighton to go again though. Neil Maupay from Trossard. Good block there from the Newcastle man, which I believe is... Who was that over on that side there? It might have been Dummett. I couldn't quite see. They're going to be another sub though for Newcastle. And we're not going to see Dwight Gale or Andy Carroll today. This is Almiron coming off now as well for Sean Longstaff. So that is Newcastle's third and final sub of the evening. So no Andy Carroll or Dwight Gale coming on for the Geordies today. Maybe that is a sign that they feel this game is done and are looking ahead to the next one. Is Newcastle losing this one by 3-0. Newcastle right in the thick of things in terms of relegation threat as well. Just 2 points above Fulham, with a game in hand, of course, as well. But yeah, really on the free-for-all at the moment. They haven't won. This will be in at least 6, maybe even more than that. And here is Moda now. It's a free kick here. Just trying to see who that was that caught him. Couldn't quite see, but referee says play on because Brighton had the ball anyway. Here's Basuma now. Lallana. Into Basuma. Played well today. Into Trossard. Another Brighton man that's looked quite lively. Here's Hendrick now. And he's given the ball away there. Here's Basuma now. Basuma gets it back from Lallana. Here's Neil Maupay. Gives it to Basuma again. On to Dunk now. On to Neil Maupay. He's just been caught there. And who was that that's going to be coming on for Brighton? I think it is actually the number 10, Alexis McAllister coming on to replace Trossard. He's had a great game. I thought he's looked bright, he's looked lively, he's got himself a goal as well. Certainly a contender for man of the match. As the Argentine McAllister comes on to replace him with 12 minutes to go. And East Basuma's over this free kick now. Adam Lallana. If you're just joining us, it's Brighton 3 at Newcastle 0 in this relegation 6-pointer. Sees Brighton up to 32 points and Newcastle remaining on 28, just the 2 points above Fulham, who are in the final place of the relegation zone there. Here is Danny Welbeck now. Of course, West Brom and Sheffield United are 2 sides in dire trouble, and both of those looking down as things stand at the moment. Barring a miracle on their part. And Brighton certainly are going to be confident of staying up after this victory if they can hold on as well. With 11 minutes to go, here's Basuma now, gets it across from, who was that? I couldn't quite see. Anyway, it's with Veltman. I think it was actually Moda, in fact. Here's Veltman. Lallana now, back to Veltman again. Knocks it on to Maupay, score with a third. And gets it back. Neil Maupay, you're going to have a shot here. He tries to find, who's that? It's fired. Oh, it's good deflection there. Was that McAllister? Oh, let's have a look. Gross. Couldn't quite see. It was a good block on the goal line as well, I think, by Jamal Lascelles, in fact. Here's Lallana now. Out it goes to Ben White. All the way back to goalkeeper Sanchez. And on it goes to Lewis Dunk now. We will be having a look at man of the match shortly as well, in 5 minutes or so. And I will let you know who the man of the match sponsored by Commentary Services is for this game between Brighton and Newcastle. Of course, the third of the triple headers today. We've had goals in all of the games as well. We had 3 in the early game, 2 in the FA Cup game at 5:30. And 3 so far in this one as well. So we've had goals galore, really, which we could probably say we had a goal glut, to be honest, in these games today. We've had a good 8 goals so far scored today over the course of the 3 games. And hopefully we'll get some more tomorrow as well. And the games we're going to be covering, of course, we've got Tottenham's game on. And we're also hopefully going to be covering... possibly covering Arsenal as well, but we're not too sure yet. Yeah, that's fine, Russ. Not to worry, mate. I will do. And of course, we've got some great action in midweek as well with the under-21s. Is it under-21s or under-20s or under-19s that Russ is going to bring? I think he said under-21s actually earlier. With the game on Thursday being the first one, 2 p.m. kickoff, if I believe to be correct of what he said as well. And of course, we'll probably have some international action during the international break as well, with England playing. And there's just a couple of people that wanted to cover England, so I'm sure we'll maybe do an England game as well. And here is Brighton in possession now. Lewis Dunk knocks it back to Sanchez. And he's going to just take a touch, take his time, in fact. And gives it out to Veltman now. That's a good turn there. He's won the throw-in as well. It's the under-21s, England and Switzerland at 2 p.m. on Thursday. So Russ is going to be doing that one. And Brighton are getting another sub ready as well. Just want to see who that is coming on. It might even be, was it Alzate? I couldn't quite see which one it was. But anyway, here's McAllister now. Here's Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck, oh, good save by the goalkeeper Dubravka to turn that one wide of the goal for a corner. It's good play there from Brighton. Alexis McAllister there, good touch. Runs in, tries to find Danny Welbeck. I think the flag's actually gone up for offside as well, actually, is he? No, flag stayed down, so I think it's actually gone behind for a corner, but then it's the flag went up after that. And I think the Brighton sub's going to be made. I think it might be Danny Welbeck making way, in fact. It is. It's Danny Welbeck coming off, and he's being replaced by Zakiri. Andy Zakiri coming on in his place. And he's definitely done well today, Danny Welbeck. He's in with a shout of being the man of the match, no doubt. Get himself a goal. He's definitely worked hard up top as well. And led the line well for Brighton alongside Neil Maupay. Although actually Danny Welbeck, I think, was playing more as a sort of left midfielder, like attacking left side, but still done very, very well today. And Brighton just playing it around. Here's Lallana now, knocks it back to White. Lallana again. Adam Lallana now. Is he going to win the free kick there? I think he has as well. Which he has against Longstaff. We are about 84 minutes on the clock almost. And Brighton just passing it around comfortably at the moment. And it's now Ben White onto Sanchez. He just smashes it out to Veltman over on this touchline. He plays it in to Lallana. He's had a good game, Adam Lallana as well. Always looks quite lively in midfield. Here's Basuma now. Ben White. Lewis Dunk now. Lallana again. Dunk. Veltman. Lallana. Attempts. Just 3 for Newcastle, 11 for Brighton. None of those Newcastle attempts been on target. 6 for Brighton. 3 of those have been in the back of the net, of course. Here is an opportunity now for Newcastle to get a consolation. It's Murphy is giving the ball away there to Moda, though, and it's gone back to Dunk. And Dunk's gone into midfield to Gross. He plays it out to the right side of, I think it's Ben White, actually, who dropped over across there. And here's Lewis Dunk now into Lallana. Lewis Dunk again. He's going to take a touch and go back. 5 minutes of normal time, plus any additional added time that we have as well, for Newcastle to get that consolation, or Brighton to see this one through with a clean sheet. Here's Basuma now and Adam Lallana playing a 1-2 between them. And Basuma goes back to the goalkeeper Sanchez. Going to take a couple of touches there and slow it down, as he looks like John Joe Shelby was going to run in on him, but it was a good play. And Veltman knocks it on to McAllister. Moda, I think, to McAllister. Now Moda out to this touchline here. There's Gross. And Brighton just playing it around. Here's Adam Lallana now. Goes backwards. Here is Veltman. Touch on to the substitute who's just come on, actually, Zakiri. And here is Veltman again. Now it's with Lewis Dunk. It's going to be forced all the way back to his goalkeeper. And so we were just saying Brighton could lose 3 consecutive home games, but that's not going to be the case today. Let's have a look. What else do we have? Yeah, so Newcastle have registered 3 successful league away draws up until today, so that's not going to happen either, barring a miracle in the next 3 or 4 minutes or so. And they're winless in 5, actually going to be 6 as I said now. And only Southampton have earned fewer points in that running as well. And Newcastle really struggling to keep clean sheets as well as score goals at the moment. Can't do it at either end. As just come up on screen there that it's going to be Aston Villa and Tottenham tomorrow. So I said Crystal Palace earlier. I was wrong with what I said. It's Aston Villa that Tottenham travel to, with John Kane covering that one. Of course, Arsenal that go to the fellow London side in West Ham. Here's Adam Lallana now for Brighton. And Yves Bissouma. There's Lallana again. Bissouma gets it back from White this time. Bissouma tries to feed it down the line towards... Who was that? Zakiri, I think it was. There's a chance here for Newcastle to break now. That's good footwork as well. Did he win the free kick? Yes, he did. I think that was who was that? It's one of the substitutes. I think that might have been Murphy. I wasn't quite sure. Or Joe Linton, I couldn't quite see. But either way, there's a substitution for Brighton out as their third of the game. And it is coming on, replacing Jacob Moda, is number 24, which is Davy Proper. And he's going to come on now and play the final couple of minutes, plus any additional time. And it's now towards Zakiri now. Was he fouled there as well? Or did he foul his man? I think he actually fouled his man instead. The Newcastle centre back there. Man of the match, I will have a little think and I will let you know in about a minute, in fact, when it hits 90 on the clock. So there's quite a few options though. There's obviously Trossard has done well for Brighton. I thought Lallana and Bissouma have done well. I thought Danny Welbeck's led the line well. So for me, it's between those 4. And I want to... I think I'm going to give it to... Yeah, I think I know. And I'll message you. I think I know. We've got Newcastle in here now. This is showing Danny Welbeck on the screen there. The man of the match, according to Sky. Not my man of the match, so he doesn't get it out of that lot for me, as much as he has done very, very well today. My man of the match is this player, Russ. There you are. As we just enter the 90th minute in about 15 seconds or so. Let's whip it now. Here's the substitute. Was he shoved in the box in the area there? Thought there was a shove on Zakiri there, it looked like, but the referee says no. And in fact, it's a Newcastle free kick here for a shove by the Brighton man. We're into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Brighton 3, Newcastle 0. I've just sent Russ across my man of the match as well. And we've entered the 90th minute, so I'm going to mention that now, who we have voted for today, or who I've decided on today, I should say. And I've given it to the goal scorer of Brighton's first goal, Leandro Trossard. Which has now been mentioned on the screen there as well, which has gone to Leandro Trossard and sponsored, of course, by the commentary services. So great performance from those Brighton players today. We're certainly going to be a Brighton attacker. I thought Neil Maupay and Danny Welbeck had good games as well. But just because Danny Welbeck gets the Sky one, I think it's probably fair that we give it to somebody else. So I'm going to give it to Trossard for opening the scoring for Brighton. And he's looked quite lively and very bright, actually, as well. So Danny Welbeck gets the Sky one, and Leandro Trossard gets R1, just to be a little bit different. And Newcastle have the ball there through Ryan Fraser now. Whips it across to this left side of here right side is Manquillo. Not Manquillo, sorry. Murphy had Manquillo on the overlap, but didn't want to use him. It just hooks it straight into the hands of Sanchez. As we are halfway through the free. Brighton 3, Newcastle 0 as it stands. Goals from the man of the match, or our man of the match, I should say, Leandro Trossard. Then the Sky man of the match, Danny Welbeck, and then Neil Morpie getting the third and sealing the victory for Brighton, who will be making it consecutive 3-0 victories in this fixture, winning the away fixture 3-0 as well at St James's Park. So that's going to be a double for them in terms of clean sheets and 3 goals scored, and obviously 3 points as well as things stand, barring the fact we've got about 1 minute of added time left. And here's Yves Bissouma now to Lewis Dunk, onto Veltman, into Bissouma again. Here's Ben White now, all the way back to his centre-back partner, Lewis Dunk. And the line just knocks it back to the goalkeeper. About 35 seconds left of this game. And Sanchez is going to play the ball out into midfield, and it's given away. Hendrick to Shelby. Newcastle trying to get this consolation goal. Do they have time for it? Doesn't really look likely with 20 seconds or so, and actually Brighton in possession of the ball now as well with Dunk and Bissouma. And here's White. Knocks it back to his goalkeeper. And we've got about 8 seconds. Here's Bissouma now. Gets to the goalkeeper. Sanchez gets it back. Probably going to just smash it forward. And that's probably going to be it, is it, in a minute? And that is game. It is Brighton 3, Newcastle 0. Brighton are the side that win this relegation 6-pointer. They're up to 32 points now. Newcastle stick on 28, just the 2 points above Fulham. And, of course, the relegation bottom 3. And that is a consecutive 3-0 victory for Brighton against the Magpies this season. And, thank you very much for listening. I'm going to hand you back over to Russ as well. Our man of the match is Leandro Trossard. And, it could have gone to many of the Brighton attacking players. Of course, Neil Morpie, Danny Welbeck got the Sky man of the match as well. And, of course, there was a couple of other fantastic performances in there as well from a Brighton perspective. Newcastle, yet again, couldn't score a goal against Brighton. I've lost this one by 3-0. So, what did you make of that, Russ?
Thank you very much. My brilliant commentary once again, man. I thought Brighton were just simply too good for Newcastle United today. Newcastle never really looked in it, and I think
I don't know if they even had a shot on target. In fact, Newcastle just kind of coming to my mind now. I know they had the one that hit the woodwork, but that doesn't even class as a shot on target. So I'm not too sure. Certainly didn't in anger anyway.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the full-time stats here now, Mike, and it's Brighton 66% possession compared to Newcastle's 34%. 11 shots in total for Brighton, 3 for Newcastle. 6 shots on target, 1 on target for Newcastle, 6 for Brighton. So they had 1 on target, but I can't remember
which one it was.
I can't even think of which one it was either, Mike.
I remember they hit the post, but that was obviously a separate incident. That obviously doesn't class as a shot on target, does it? So
no, and then 3 corners for Brighton, 1 to Newcastle, and 12 fouls from Brighton, 5 from Newcastle. Newcastle are now winless in
6 games.
6 games now. We were winless in 5 before this. Winless in 6 now. Brighton moved clear of the bottom of the relegation zone. 6 points clear of the relegation zone. A point behind Burnley and Southampton. Just 3 behind Wolves now. And 5 points behind Crystal Palace, who sit up in 12th. So, Fulham play Newcastle on the final day of the season, and I still think it's going to go down to the final day of the season, and winner will stay up. Brighton in 16th, Newcastle 17th, Fulham 18th, West Brom 19th, Sheffield United 20th. West Brom and Sheffield United all but relegated for me. The one which is not being who's now gone down, who are down already, is West Brom and Sheffield United. Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton could still go down yet. I think teams from Burnley upwards are safe. Is anyone from 3 for me to go down? But I think Brighton, if they get a point in their next game after the international break, or even win it, they'll be safe. So I think it's going to be between Newcastle and Fulham. And as things stand, and as long as Steve Bruce is in this, and Newcastle, when I say this, I mean as manager of Newcastle United,
Yeah.
I can only see one team staying up, and that is a team that lost to Leeds yesterday. That is Fulham. I think Newcastle, under Steve Bruce, and Bruce remain in charge, Newcastle will get relegated.
And we touched on earlier, we touched on the fixtures for Newcastle. We didn't touch on Brighton's next 5 games. They've got Man United away, then Everton, then Chelsea, and then Sheffield United, and then Leeds at home. And then, there's some games in there that obviously are going to be, the next 3 are going to be very challenging for them, no doubt. United, Everton, and Chelsea. And then Sheffield United, possibly should be thinking of that one as a 3-pointer. And Leeds, of course, is another tricky game as well. So there's 4 out of 5 games there that are really difficult. And of course, Sheffield United have shown this season on a few occasions that they can cause surprises, even when they went to Anfield and won. So,
yeah, you're absolutely right there, Mike. And I think I'm just looking at the bottom 6 now: Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield United. Like I said, West Brom and Sheffield United already down for me.
Yeah.
Burnley are safe now, I reckon. Brighton need, I would say, one more point just to be sure of safety. And then
they have got some hard games, even if you look at their running after that. The full 9 after Leeds is Wolves away. That's not an easy game, not an easy place to go to. West Ham, who are flying this season. Man City at home, who are looking, obviously, they'll be champions by that point. And then finally going to the Emirates and playing Arsenal. So it's not an easy 9 for Brighton. So they could still get drawn into it, but I do, I kind of agree with you that they'll probably just about be good enough, and we'll get some points in there somewhere. I'm not too sure where.
I think
they do have a good record. They do have a good record against my team, Arsenal. So as long as it's not against them,
I'm looking at the games as well, Mike. And I think the game where they can actually get the point they need, or even better than the point that I said they need, an extra 2 points on top of the point I think they need.
It's got to be Sheffield United away, surely.
It's Sheffield United away, yes. I can't see him picking up anything at Old Trafford against Man United. Everton, they were unlucky at times today against Man City in the FA, but that was in the FA Cup, and they've started to pick up a bit more form now in the Premier League again after winning another cup into a dip. Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel, not lost a game in all competitions yet. That'll be hard. Sheffield United, new manager in Paul Eckerbott until the end of the season, interim manager that is.
Yeah.
And after Chris Wilder's shock departure, I think that's the only realistic winnable game. Leeds, yes, mainly now we may be safe. If Leeds win that, they'll make sure they'll be safe. But I think Leeds just got.
Then if you look at Newcastle's fixtures as well, obviously they've got Tottenham next, and then after that they've got Burnley away, and they're a side that are very sort of hit and miss, Burnley, and so you don't know what could happen with that one. West Ham at home, Liverpool, and then Arsenal. So they're 3 very difficult games to round up that 5 there, and then as we mentioned before, they've got Sheffield United and Fulham in the final 2.
And then before that is Leicester and Man City
Leicester and
Man
City, yeah. So there's some winnable games in there, but there's also some games in there where you fancy, the team that they're playing against to do a fairly good job on them as well. So Newcastle, if you look at that, could maybe be aiming for about 9 points from those 9 games, and that'd be the 3 victories. Maybe Burnley, maybe Sheffield United, and maybe Fulham. So
yes, and like I've said all along, and like I said, the beginning of the show, then at half time, and then at the end of the show, a few minutes ago, whoever wins that Fulham Newcastle game on the final day of the season, I reckon they'll be the ones that will be staying in the Premier League. But
I think I probably.
What I'm going to say as well, and what I'm going to say now, Mike, we've been on air. Well, I've been on air for quite a while today. I know you've probably when it's done, but before we do go, Mike, I'm just going to ask you for a score prediction. I know you may not like to do it for your boys, Arsenal,
Yeah,
but
I still will do it anyway. But yeah, go on.
they've got West Ham tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
How do you see that game going tomorrow, Mike? Do you reckon Arsenal will get the 3 points tomorrow, or can you see West Ham causing Arsenal a few problems tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very good game. Of course, Arsenal got to bounce back. Yes, we qualified in the Europa League, and we've got a favourable draw. Out of the teams that were left, anyway, it was favourable as the draw can be in that situation. Really, with maybe Granada would have been another draw that we could have had, but I think that we've got a chance tomorrow. We were very poor in midweek on the game that obviously me and you covered on Thursday, and I believe that we can't be that bad again. So I think we'll be up for this game, and we'll definitely come out with a point to prove and try and get a winning result, positive result. But West Ham have had a very, very good season. They've looked a threat. They came back and obviously got a valuable result against Tottenham earlier in the season as well, when you thought it was all dead and buried for them. So it's a real difficult game to call, really. This one, of course, the game at the Emirates finished in a draw as well, with Arsenal getting a late, I think it was a last-minute equaliser that day, if I believe to be correct. Did Arsenal win it last minute? It was a last-minute goal either way. So
Yeah, I can't remember where now, Mike. I'll just have a quick
I think
check
it was
for you.
was it either 1-1 or 2-1? I think it might have been Eddie Nketiah, was it? I think it might have been 2-1.
I'll just have a look at Arsenal West Ham head-to-head from the last meeting for you. Let's click on this one. This is for the Arsenal one. I can have a look now. The last meeting against West Ham, 2-1 win back on 19th September 2020.
I think Eddie got the winner. Yeah.
Lacazette on 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio equalised on 45. Then 85th minute winner from Eddie Nketiah. He came on for Alexander Lacazette, the other Arsenal goal scorer on that occasion, on that day, in the 77th minute. Luis came on for Saka in 89th minute. Pepe on for Willian in the 64th. As Arsenal started with Leno, Bellerin, Gabriel, Holding, Kolasinac, Saka, Ceballos, Willian, Xhaka, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and then Pepe for Willian, Nketiah for Lacazette, Luis for Saka. The remaining bench was Macy, El Nene, Willock, and Maitland-Niles. Joe Willock, of course.
Joe Willock, of course, at Newcastle played tonight, and he was anonymous, to be honest. He barely saw him. Was very much marshalled out of the game, but I think West Ham are definitely a threat this season. They're definitely up there for a reason, and I think tomorrow's gonna. I'm gonna say my heart wants to say an Arsenal win. My head's saying a draw, so I'm gonna go 1-1.
Okay, man. That's all we've got time for today. Newcastle beaten by Brighton by 3-0. Brighton have took 6 points off of Newcastle this season by an aggregate score of 6-0. Won 3-0 here tonight at the Amex. Won 3-0 at St James's Park earlier on in the season. But from myself and from Mike, I'm going to say a very good night. And thank you from everyone here at Football Coach Live for tuning in to today's all 3 of our live matches. So until next time, we'll see you again very, very soon. So until next time, thank you very much.
Everyone.
And we'll see you.